Good morning and welcome to Saturday special of Dr. Lamba's Awakening Call. As a matter of fact, Hindu architecture is centuries old, much before any other architecture was built. But then, as a matter of fact, there was architecture much before Hinduism. Out of the temples of Hinduism, which are about 2000 to 3000 years old, have been found not only in India but even in Latin America, in Central Asian republics. Of course, everybody knows about Indonesia and Thailand. But the picture of dome as a piece of architecture is associated with Islam, which is wrong. As a matter of fact, though, apparently when you look from outside, all Hindu temples have spires coming out. But these spires surround a dome, and that is the basic attribute of Hindu temples which people have not been able to appreciate. And when you go inside, even the sanctum sanctorum is dome-like structure. Now, why is it like that? There's a purpose for this. Although this dome structure came as a fixture with the Islamic architecture, but it has been adopted in all cultures. Look at Buckingham Palace. Look at White House. All those buildings have a dome-like structure because that's a symbol of royalty. And temple is the kingdom of God, the supreme royalty, so it has to have a dome-like structure. And the temple domes were modeled another thing. This is the beauty of the Hindu architecture, that they have not been able to explain it, of course, which is a mistake. These temple domes are modeled on the pattern of the sky. If you look up at the sky moves up and comes down. It's a dome-like. It meets the horizon. So it's a semicircular, which is a dome. Over time, such dome became primarily focused for decoration or the direction of prayer. And that's why the use of domes in the mausoleums like Taj or Humayun Maqbara or anyone or Lodi's reflect royal patronage, are to be seen as representing the honor and prestige of the dome. So they symbolize the royalty rather than having a specific funerary meaning. People have thought that they are only for the tombs. No, it's not. As a matter of fact, that's a transferred application that this man was once upon a time a king. Now the synthesis of the styles created by the introduction of new forms to the Hindu tradition of trabate construction created a distinctive architecture. Domes in the pre-Mughal India have a standard squat circular shape with a lotus design and bulbous finial at the top. Now this is specific. The Islamic culture changed it, but then it is a lotus design and the bulbous finial at the top. And it's derived from the Hindu architecture. And a fresh look at the symbolism, at the evolution, and inherent aesthetics of that dome are important. Imagine a temple having a bulbous dome from Swat Valley. I was amazed to see this picture. This temple was built 3,500 years back in Swat, which is in Pakistan. And it's a bulbous dome. So, saying that it's a Muslim architecture is ridiculous. At that time, Islam was not even thought of, what to say, of been created or born. And if you sit under the open sky, now the philosophical aspect, and repeat the word Om, what happens? You are sitting in the open, under the sky, and you are saying Om, people say it, but the voice will be lost because the strength of an individual voice is enveloped by the vastness of the sky. So you will not be able to hear the reverberation of the sound. And the importance of Om is that it reverberates and the vibrations come back to you. And that is why the word is to be recited in a cave. This is the ideal one. It echoes back. Om. And then in the temple, and then if the temple has a dome-like structure, that will be the best. The Hindu temples architecture combine harmony and symmetry with a high degree of outer adornments. So people are impressed by the outer adornment, but the inner side is more scientific, more spiritual, and more metaphysical in nature. And the elements are so designed to have correct proportion and exert a positive influence on the surroundings. And that makes this architecture as a whole so beautiful that the small detail harmonizes and mixes with the massive architecture. Now the basic form of temple is a square cell oriented to the four cardinal directions, containing a platform with an image of deity at the center. And then in front of the door is a porch or platform shaded by a roof, supported with the pillars, and worshippers gather before and after approaching the god. And at the founding of the temple, the priests establish a sanctified area in the center of the shrine while praying and performing rituals set up and the image of the god. And the deity is said to be the one with the image. Every Hindu temple in India thus exists as center of the universe, where the gods look over his or her domain. Now, these temples and the domes practically are based on yantrics. There is a diagram of the universe. The simple ones are the circle within a square, what I was talking to you about. So outside it might look just a square cube, but otherwise it's not. Is within the rectangle is a square, and in the circle there is a dome-like. So four gates present the four directions of the universe. And at the center of the temple is the sanctuary, where the deity is kept. The possibilities for addition and decoration on the basic plan are endless. And many temples sit on the top of cruciform platform. That cruciform platform is called shikhars or spires. And the north over the sanctuary, and broad gate towers are gopuras heading to the temple. The domes were constructed specifically the purpose so that the resonance of the chanting can rebound on the devotees. So you say Om and reverberates to you, because the benefit is not in saying Om but in the vibration that it creates in the body. And the dome is just a small semicolor prototype of the sky, as I said. It has the same shape as the sky, touching the earth on all the four sides. Whatever the prayers or chanting are done under its canopy, they do not get lost the way they would if you were chanting under the open sky. And that's why the so-called Rath Jagas, which have become very popular through the night singing and the kirtan, they don't have that religious sanctity. They're good social events, fine. Get-togethers, fine. But you cannot say that they resonate with the religious aspect the way temples would. So, whatever prayers or chanting are done under the canopy of the dome, that doesn't get lost, because the dome throws them back towards the person who is meditating. And that's the purpose of the dome. When I was asked what's the purpose, that is the purpose. But that's not the only purpose. Royalty, as I said first, is a sign of royalty. So it's both spiritual and royal. As time passed, then, it was discovered that the stone could multiply the resonance to a tremendous degree. And that's why I said the idea of the caves, stones, all around. And then, the echo which comes, rebounds from one side, from the second side, from the third side, and you are enveloped in the vibrations. And that is what is said. What is basically the purpose? That's the purpose, to create a blissful experience. The purpose is that when you chant, whether it's Om or any other shloka, and you do it with intensity, the temple dome, by its very design, helps in the formation of a circle by echoing the sound. And that becomes ecstatic. You have a blissful experience out of this world. Now, whether you are Hindu or not, whether you believe it or not, but if you look at the resonance, the vibratory experience, that is something out of this world. It's not normal. And it's a domes which have been created so that you can understand it. And then when the formation of the circle happens, you are not just a humble worshipper before the divine. You become a part of it, a recipient of the divine power as well. In other words, your prayers have been answered. As the sound vibrates back to you, it is acknowledgement that your prayer has been received and accepted. And with that resonance, you are able to open your heart to let the divine experience enter you. And you become one with God. Have you seen, by the way, the Sufis, when they're dancing and singing and everything, they lose all sense of the present. They call it a state of halal. The same is here. When you are immersed in chanting and the sound comes back to you, then you are a part of the whole thing. And although the sound produced in the chanting is human, that's a fact. But when it's echoes and rebounds, it's full of a new force and new energy, and that re-energizes you. These dome-shaped temples were used to create sound, circles through the chanting of mantras, and if someone wants to sit there, chanting all alone in perfect peace, then as soon as the sound circle is formed, the outer thoughts are stopped from entering your mind. You are at that time immersed. So, the penetration of the extra prayer thoughts would not be there to disturb you. Normally when you think of anything, 101 thoughts keep on coming to you, so you cannot concentrate. But here is a concentration, it's guaranteed. Then the second question raised by our friend from Thailand University Board, Dr. Chakurpa, why the bells and the gongs? At the entrance of the temple, you will find big bells or gongs, and they serve the same purpose. When you chant Om, although you may not be doing so very quietly, your attention may be elsewhere. But the sound of the bell will instantly bring your attention back to the circle of the sound created by the vibration. So this is ancillary to that. If your mind is distracted and you are the bell, the cymbal, the gongs, they bring you back. Well, here you are. You cannot let the mind wander. It may be remembered that the sound is a subtle form of electricity. That you can't deny. And now even the psychologists and the scientists agree In fact, everything is a form of electricity in one way or the other. But the Indian sages go one step further and they say electricity is a form of sound and the sound is a base, not electricity. And that's why they call the Supreme Being Shabad Brahm, the cosmic sound. So these symbols, gongs, bell, and overall sky covering in the shape of a dome, they conserve, present a coherent cosmic sound, the Brahm Shabd. There is a great similarity now between the approach of the Eastern thinkers and the modern scientists. And the only difference is which one of the two is primary. The scientist says electricity is primary, where the Indian tradition says is the density of the sound which produces electricity, not the other way around. There's a possibility that in the near future, science will have to look deeper into the nature of cosmic sound, the ultimate reality, but we cannot deny that this unique feature of the temples, which was later on incorporated universally, whether it's in Islam, whether it's in churches, whether it's in secular buildings, even your Rashtrapati Bhavan in India, for example, has a dome-like structure. So the purpose is to create an atmosphere, a milieu, where you concentrate, you are enveloped with a sound that enables you to become one with the cosmos, the sound cosmos. And that is why these accoutrements, the accompaniments of the cymbals and the gongs and the bells and the covering, they protect you, they make you whole, they make you impervious to all intrusions and diversions. Thank you.